Welcome once again to the next series of the Hill reaction of photosynthesis. Here we are going to start with the structural and functional aspects of the two photosystems. Photosystem 2 is the key pigment protein complex in oxygenic photosynthesis. Main function of photosystem 2 is oxidation of water and reduction of plastoquinone. This photosystem has the highest oxidation capacity such that it is able to oxidize two water molecules to yield a molecule of oxygen, and it is arranged in the grana part of the chloroplast, traversing both the lumen as well as the thylakoid membrane. It is bound by the light harvesting complex LHC2 that acts as an adhesive to keep the grana lamellae tightly pressed together. This structural arrangement increases the efficiency of the excited electron transfer from the RC to the cofactors in the path of the transfer. Structurally, there exists a light harvesting complex which is divided into core complex, that is the RC, and antenna complex. The reaction center P680 is embedded in the core complex that are multi-subunit complexes of pigments and proteins. The photosystem is composed of two cores, two strongly and two mediumly bound LHCs. The core complex consists of roughly equal amounts of chlorophyll A and B and at least 20 protein subunits and nearly 100 cofactors. The core proteins are designated as D1, D2, CP43 and CP47. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B and beta carotene form part of the pigment complex. Further, these complexes are bound to cofactors pheophytin, thyloquinones QA ubiquinone and QB menaquinone, which is a mobile electron carrier, and cytochrome B6F, which plays a role of transferring the electrons excited from RC. The reaction center is a dimer of P680, which is a chlorophyll A molecule and a pheophytin molecule. Pheophytin is a kind of chlorophyll A pigment. The dimer is bound to two protein subunits designated as D1 and D2. D1 and D2 bind all the pigments of the RC and cofactors of the electron transport chain. Proteins like CP47 and CP43 bind the antenna pigments. There are smaller proteins that bind the oxygen evolving complex OEC, or the water oxidizing complex as it is called, containing chlorophyll and carotenoid molecules which act as accessory pigments of light harvesting, absorbing and transferring the photons to the RC, as well as protect the RC from reactive oxygen damage or photo damage. Since the chlorophylls and pheophytins in the RC are not sufficient for an efficient transformation of solar energy under natural conditions, each RC is associated with additional pigment protein complexes. Antenna proteins or light harvesting complexes whose task is the extensive absorption of photons and the delivery of the energy to the RC by virtue of excitation energy transfer. The antenna complex has core antennae that are tightly bound to the RC and peripheral antennae whose amount can vary with light conditions, thus playing a role in regulation of photochemical reactions. To summarize, PS2 comprises of a P680 core complex, that is 4 chlorophyll molecules, 2 pheophytins, 2 plastoquinones, an ion in the form of cytochrome B6F, and the OEC. The oxygen evolving complex structure is again a complex of manganese, tyrosine, calcium, chlorine cluster, which is tightly bound to P680. Additionally, each cluster is bound to 4 water molecules as well. The reaction center alone takes part in the photochemical reaction, that is the conversion of photons to electrons and protons in order to generate oxygen, ATP and NADPH. Now there are two principal functions of PS2 that is located in the grana part of the thylakoid, extending into the lumen as well as the membrane part. When one photon of light either directly or through the antenna pigments and the surrounding LHCs hits the RC, the reaction center, that is P680, gets excited. One electron exits the RC chlorophyll A, forming P680 positive radical, and the emitted electron quickly gets accepted by the pheophytin molecule that becomes pheo minus radical. This transfer happens in picoseconds, that is 10 to the power of minus 11 seconds, since both are in close proximity. The formation of P680 positive pheo minus pair radicals is called charge separation. This P680 positive is unstable and is a very strong oxidizing agent such that it has the energy to remove electrons from water. or in other words, oxidizes water, and that is how the electron hole formed in P680 gets filled and the RC becomes ready to be hit by another photon. This too happens in picoseconds time. Now here in the oxygen evolving complex, water molecule releases 4 electrons by way of getting oxidized, one each after the hit of one photon at the reaction center. Hence, in total, 4 electrons are released after the hit of 4 photons. The electrons released by the split of water comes to occupy the electron hole created in P680 plus, but only one at a time can be accepted by P680 plus. This is the natural regulatory flow of electrons linked to the existence of various oxidation states of the manganese ions in the OEC complex to avoid over-reduction of P680 plus that could damage the RC, since there is a risk for it to become a superoxidizer. A molecule of tyrosine that is bound to the OEC, oxygen evolving complex, is responsible for transferring the electrons released by the splitting of water to the P680 cation, one electron at a time. In the end, one molecule of oxygen and 4 protons are released by this water splitting reaction that is catalyzed by the PS2. The electron is rapidly expelled from FeO- radical to the next acceptor, a liposoluble quinone molecule, plastoquinones, QA, which can accept only a single electron, that quickly transfers it to the next QB, which functions as a mobile carrier and is a strong reductant. On receiving the second electron from QA, QB gets reduced to PQ2H2, that is dihydroplastoquinone, after collecting 2 protons from the water splitting reaction. Thus, the dihydroquinol also acts as a temporary storehouse of electrons and protons. The 2 electrons move from the reduced QB to the next acceptor, a cytochrome B6F, with a risky protein subunit that are iron sulfur proteins components of cytochrome complexes, which are responsible for electron transfer in some biological systems. The electrons pass through cytochrome B6F to the next acceptor, plastocyanin, which is a soluble copper containing electron transfer protein, and for each pair of electrons, 4 protons move into the thylakoid lumen from the stroma, thus reducing the pH of the lumen and creating a difference in membrane potential. Now this cytochrome B6F functions as a bridge linking PS2 to PS1 through plastocyanin. It transfers the electrons to plastocyanin and pumps out the protons across the thylakoid membrane. Plastocyanin then transfers the electron to replenish the electron hole created in the RC of PS1. Thus, a linear flow of electrons begins from the RC of PS2 that ends in the acceptance of electron by NADP to produce NADPH. 2 important events are to be noted in function of PS2. One, there is a production of NADPH, and other, there is a synthesis of ATP due to the backflow of protons through the enzyme complex ATP synthase. NADPH is necessary for all anabolic reactions, and it is the principal reductant of the carbon dioxide, which is to be reduced during the next phase of photosynthesis, that is the dark reaction. ATP as energy compound is used up for all cellular metabolism. Thus, PS2 is involved in non-cyclic flow of electrons, thereby leading to the non-cyclic photophosphorylation of ADP to ATP. Now, the photosystem 1 core complex consists of an extensive antenna systems of approximately 100 densely packed chlorophylls and a relatively isolated group of redox active cofactors at the center, composing the reaction center. PS1 is a remarkable nanophotoelectric machine that operates with a quantum yield close to 1, that is with a higher efficiency than PS2. PS1 is a light-driven enzyme complex called plastocyanin pyridoxine oxidoreductase. This photosystem is organized in the stromal lamellae, and the central RC molecule is made of a chlorophyll A molecule and an epimer of chlorophyll A molecule, that is an optical isomer of chlorophyll A, surrounded by the LHC1 protein, which is an integral membrane complex that absorbs photons and transfers the excitation energy to P700, which is the primary electron donor. The subsequent charge separation and electron transport leads to the reduction of pyridoxine at the end of the chain. PS1 contains 11 to 14 different proteins and several types of organic and inorganic cofactors. Firstly, these proteins bind organic and inorganic cofactors and orient them optimally for light harvesting and electron transfer. Additionally, these proteins may mediate the association of LHC2 680 with the core antenna of PS1, thus resulting in optimum use of the photon energy. The PS1 proteins also play a significant passive role in the protection of their redox centers. The electron transfer chain of PS1 is located at the center of the complex and is wrapped by proteins on the membrane and aqueous phases, thereby protecting the highly reactive redox centers. Apart from chlorophyll A and carotenoids, there are other cofactors like A0, which is special type of chlorophyll A, A1, that is the phylloquinone, 3 iron sulfur clusters, pyridoxine, pyridoxine NADP oxidoreductase, and NADP. A0 is the strongest reducing agent, meaning it is the fastest electron acceptor. The cofactors are closely integrated to the antenna molecules, which in turn are tightly bound to the RC for rapid transfer of electrons, with a higher charge separation rate, which makes it about 2 times faster than PS2. Thus, structurally, PS1 interacts with LHC1, PC, that is plastocyanin, NADP pyridoxine reductase, and LHC2. PS1 and its antenna molecules are part of a supramolecular complex composed of at least 16 proteins, including 4 chlorophyll binding proteins arranged around the periphery of the reaction center. The complex also includes 35 carotenoids of several types, 3 iron sulfur clusters, and 2 phylloquinones. The reaction center's electron carriers are tightly integrated with the antenna chlorophylls. As a result, exciton transfer from, that is exciton meaning the electron transfer from antenna chlorophylls to the reaction center is very rapid and efficient. PS1 is involved in transfer of electrons in tandem with PS2. Both the photosystems get hit by the photons at the same time. PS1 harnesses light energy to transfer an electron from the soluble copper protein plastocyanin on one side of the membrane to pyridoxine and eventually NADP on the opposite side. Light-induced charge separation oxidizes the primary electron donor P700, which is a chlorophyll A prime heterodimer, and reduces the primary electron acceptor A0, that is again another chlorophyll A monomer. The electron is transferred to A1, a phylloquinone in most organisms, to FX, an interpolypeptide iron sulfur cluster, and finally to FA and FB, which are again 4 sulfur clusters bound to the extrinsic protein subunit. The electron transfer chain is arranged in 2 quasi, that is almost symmetrical branches consisting of 6 chlorophylls, 2 phylloquinones, and 3 iron sulfur clusters, that is FX, FA, and FB. P700 is composed of a chlorophyll pair, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll A prime, that are not identical and therefore deviates from perfect symmetry. From A0, the electron is transferred to one of the 2 clearly resolved quinones and from there to FX. From FX, the electrons pass on to FA and FB, finally to pyridoxine, which is loosely bound to the thylakoid membrane. Pyridoxine functions as the principal PS1 electron acceptor. It reduces NADP via the enzyme FNR for various reductive biosynthetic pathways. FD also reduces the cytochrome B6F complex or plastoquinone in a cyclic electron transfer pathway around PS1 that generates a proton gradient, and hence ATP synthesis is there. FD is a soluble protein with 1 iron sulfur cluster that accepts electron from the FB cluster on the stromal side of the PS1 complex. Actually, FD, that is a pyridoxine, toggles toward FB to get reduced due to the structural constraints of being closer to FB, and then returns back near the enzyme FNR to pass on the electrons to the pyridoxine, which is the cofactor of the enzyme. Under most circumstances, electrons through PS1 follow a non-cyclic path from plastocyanin to pyridoxine and then to reduction of other compounds, including NADP. However, under some conditions, electrons from PS1 are recycled via cytochrome B6F complex. This cyclic pathway around PS1 is independent of PS2 and increases the level of ATP synthesis relative to that of NADPH, thus permitting a cell to adjust the production of these 2 chemicals according to its need. Thus, the physiology of a cell dictates the importance of cyclic electron transport to the energy metabolism. Changes in PS1 activity and abundance have far-reaching physiological consequences. The reducing power handled in photosynthesis is a useful commodity, but excess unused reductants can generate harmful radicals. Therefore, it is imperative to adjust the rate of photosynthetic electron transport depending on the need for the photosynthetic products. The cellular level of PS1 is controlled to avoid excessive accumulation of the reductants produced by PS2. The proposed pathways of cyclic electron transfer involve electron shuttling by ferredoxin. Ferredoxin's function as a principal PS1 electron acceptor plays a significant role in determining the enthalpy, that is the total energy on Earth. Ferredoxin reduces NADP via FNR, the enzyme, for various reductive biosynthetic pathways, and it also reduces the cytochrome B6F complex or plastoquinone in a cyclic electron transfer pathway around PS1 that generates a proton gradient and hence ATP synthesis. Cyclic electron transport around PS1, which was first described 50 years ago by Arnon et al., required relatively high ferredoxin concentrations. Cyclic photophosphorylation is an essential component of state transitions, which are used by photosynthetic organisms to adapt to changes in light quality by redistributing excitation energy between the two photosystems to enhance photosynthetic yield. Now, state transitions and cyclic photophosphorylation activity are mutually regulated in ways that are unique to organisms inhabiting different ecological niches. For example, under state 2 condition, that is with low light intensity, a large fraction of ATP synthesis is coupled to cyclic electron transport. Whereas under state 1, that is high light intensity conditions, no evidence for cyclic flow has been obtained. In C4 plants, in which PS2 is largely absent from bundle sheath cells, cyclic electron transport is dominant. It has been shown that cyclic electron transport not only occurs in C3 plants, but it is essential for their growth. Thus, cyclic electron transport in conjunction with state transitions constitutes a vital mechanism for adaptations to a changing environment. In higher plants, moderate photoinhibition of photosystem 2 leads to a stimulation of cyclic electron flow at low light, which is accompanied by an increase in the P700 oxygen ratio. The most important part of the electron transport flow. The enzyme responsible for ATP synthesis in chloroplasts is a large complex with two functional components, CFO and CF1, C denoting its location in chloroplasts. FO is a transmembrane proton pore composed of several integral membrane proteins. F1 is the peripheral membrane protein complex. F1 part contains the catalytic center and the F4 part integrates the F1 part to the membrane. Thus, the enzyme ATP synthase consists of a membrane-bound part FO, which transports hydrogen ions, and a protruding part F1, which can be released from the membrane. The terms are historical, and F1 stands for factor 1 and F4 for oligomycin sensitive factor. Each FO part consists of 3 types of subunits in differing numbers, protein A, B, and C. The F1 part consists of 5 subunits, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon. Gamma, delta, and epsilon rotate in a cylinder formed of alternating alpha and beta subunits. While there are 3 each of alpha and beta, there is only 1 unit of each of the others. The FO part coordinates with the gamma subunit of the F1, where the rotational twist takes place, and that is important for the function of the enzyme. The alpha and beta subunits are anchored firmly by the FO, while only the gamma subunit undergoes rotation. The alpha and beta subunits in the F1 part, however, cannot rotate because they are locked in a fixed position by the B subunit, that is the B protein, which is anchored to subunit A of FO in the membrane. The beta subunits are responsible for the binding of ADP and inorganic phosphate, formation of ATP, that is interconversion it is called, and release of ATP. The alpha subunits probably keep the beta subunits properly folded throughout the function. The protons move through the FO portion, and as 3 to 4 protons move across the C subunit of FO, 1 ATP is released. It has been shown that it is on the beta units that the synthesis of ATP occurs, and thus they are called the catalytic subunits. Nobel laureate Paul D. Boyer found that, as opposed to the view generally held, the step requiring energy was not the synthesis of ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate, but that energy was required to bind ATP and the phosphate to the enzyme and to release ATP. This rotation induces structural changes in beta subunits, which lead to differences in bonding ability of the ADP, inorganic phosphate, and ATP during a cyclic course. This mechanism is called Boyer's binding change mechanism. Boyer also proposed that this rotation is driven by the above mentioned hydrogen ion flow through the membrane, that is called the proton motive force. The second picture on the slide shows the F1 portion with 3 alpha units alternating with beta O, which is referred to as open, beta L, which is referred to as loose, and beta T, which is referred to as tight. Normally, ADP and inorganic phosphate get loosely bound at beta L, and the formed ATP is tightly bound to beta T. Beta open is empty. When proton motive force is at action, that is when protons move through the FO to F1, there is a change in the conformation of the central gamma subunit. And this twists in such a way that it triggers conformational changes in the beta subunits as well. At stage A, we can see the beta T portion with a tightly bound ATP. At stage B, we can see beta L has the ADP and inorganic phosphate loosely bound to it. At stage C, due to the energy driven by the protons, we can see the twisted conformational change within the asymmetrical gamma subunit, resulting in the conformational changes in the beta subunits as well. As a result, the tight beta subunit now becomes open, thus releasing the ATP. The beta open subunit becomes loose, and the beta loose now becomes the new beta tight, thus binding the ADP and inorganic phosphate tightly. At stage 4, there is a removal of water molecules that triggers the formation of ATP at the beta T subunit, and the cycle continues from as seen in stage A. We can see the formation of ATP at the beta T subunit, okay, and the cycle continues as triggered by the twisting motion of the gamma subunit as a result of the movement of protons across the enzyme, creating the proton motive force. Now we have come to the end of the Hill reaction. To summarize, we all know Robert Hill was the first to point out the fact that the process by which plants produce oxygen is separated from the process that converts carbon dioxide to sugars. Important finding of Hill was that oxygen evolved during the light reaction was from the water molecules, and he also proved that oxygen was produced only during the light dependent reactions occurring in the chloroplast. Another scientist, Arnon, further studied the biochemistry of the Hill reaction and added that carbon dioxide fixation was independent of light, and he effectively separated the light dependent reaction, which produces ATP, NADPH, protons and oxygen, from the light independent reaction that produces sugar. Thus, we have dealt with the light reaction in detail and in this part of photosynthesis. Looking forward to meet you all with the next part, that is the dark reaction. Thank you.